Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Bhagavad Gita class. Start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we are discussing the 12th chapter. The 12th chapter is devotional service. Yeah. And in the beginning of 12th chapter, we have seen in the first section, Arjuna is asking a question that who are better, the impersonalist who worship the Supreme Lord as some impersonal Brahmayoti, or the devotees who are worshipping the personal form of Krishna, the Satchidananda form. Actually, Arjuna is a devotee. So Arjuna is trying to confirm his position, whether he is doing it properly or not. So therefore, Arjuna is asking this question, who is better, the devotees or personalist? And the Supreme Lord very clearly said that Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasham avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadvi ravapyate. So, klesho adhikataras tesham. Klesha means problems or troubles. Klesho adhikatar. Adhikatar means more trouble. So, klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasham. Avyakta asakta means if you are attached to the impersonal form of the Supreme Lord, if you are attached to the worship of the impersonal form, then there are a lot of trouble in your path of advancement in spirituality. Abhyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadviravapyate. And there is a lot of miseries in that path. Yeah, that is 12.5. It is very difficult to make progress in that discipline, in the worship of the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. So it was very clear. And in verses 6 and 7, Krishna told that for devotees, what I do, Tesha Maham Samudharta Mrityu Samsara Sagarat Bhavami Nachirat Partha Maya Veshita Chetasham. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in my devotional service. So these are the bhaktas, always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha. For them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna personally delivers them and does that very swiftly. So if you are worshipping the impersonal Brahmajyoti, then it will take many lifetimes. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. And in that also, if you start worshipping the impersonal Brahmajyoti, then after a long time, we have to again come back to Bhakti Yoga. But when we come back to Bhakti Yoga, the previous practice of impersonalism acts as an obstacle in the path of advancement in Bhakti. So therefore, if someone is attached to worshipping the impersonal form, it is very dangerous. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, nowhere Krishna recommends this Jnana Yoga, because once you have started practicing Jnana Yoga, it is very difficult to undo that and again practice Bhakti. So very clearly, Krishna has made the difference between the impersonalist and devotees. Now in this chapter, we go to the next section, that is 8 to 12. In these verses 8 to 12, Krishna is explaining different gradations of devotional service. What is the topmost level of devotional service? If you cannot do that, what is the next best level that you can do? If you cannot do that even, then the next level. So Krishna is explaining different levels of devotional service. This is very important. So let's begin. So verse number 8 says, Mayyeva manadhatsva mai buddhim niveshaya nivashisyashi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So the topmost level of bhakti is engaging the mind and intelligence in Krishna service. Our acharyas say that between this mind and intelligence, engaging the mind is superior than engaging the intelligence. And then comes engaging the senses. So in different levels, we can serve the Supreme Lord. So what is the meaning? Why engaging the mind is more exalted than engaging the intelligence? For an example, suppose someone says that you have to chant today 128 rounds. That will take the whole day. And you have to attentively chant. Your mind should not think of anything else other than Krishna's names. Sit in one place and chant 128 rounds attentively. This is a very difficult task because mind is flickering, always going here and there. To control the mind and always focus on the holy name is very difficult. Even when we chant one round, in most of the Maha Mantras, we are not attentive. Maybe we are attentive in only 10 or 20 Maha Mantras. So it is very difficult to chant continuously, focusing on the holy names. On the other hand, engaging intelligence means, suppose there is a Janmashtami festival going on and you are made the manager. You have to manage the entire event. You have to make a budget and engage everyone and supervise all the different services going on. This is relatively easier. You can do that using your intelligence. You are managing an event and the whole day you are engaged in managing the event. This is still possible. Whole day you are thinking of management and you are engaging intelligence in Krishna service. So controlling the mind is most difficult. And if someone can do that, that is the highest form of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, one who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. There is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, and his internal potency are dancing. So when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency or Srimati Radharani are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables and the devotee becomes Krishnized by eating the remnants. So Krishnized means the body of the devotee becomes spiritualized. And just like if you touch fire with iron. After some time, the iron will behave like fire. Similarly, if you are associating with Krishna by chanting the holy names, by eating Krishna prasad, so you are associating with Krishna and your body will be Krishnaized. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. So this is the highest form of devotional service, to engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna service. So there is a body chariot analogy where it says, okay, so our body is compared to a chariot and the passenger of that chariot is compared to the soul. Okay, and the driver of the chariot is compared to the intelligence. The 5 horses in the chariot, they are compared to the 5 senses. And the ropes, the chariot driver is holding the ropes. Those ropes represents mind. So in this analogy, we can see that the horses are the senses and mind is controlling the horses or the senses. And then the driver, intelligence, is controlling the mind. So this is the hierarchy. Indriyani paranyahur indriyabhyo paramana manasastu parabuddhir yo buddhe parasastu shaha. So indriyani paranyahur, the senses are higher than gross matter. Senses are higher than gross matter. The mind is higher than the senses. And the intelligence is even higher than the mind. And the soul is even higher than the intelligence. So this is how we can see that this mind is in the middle. So this senses, mind and intelligence, in these 3 levels, we can control. If you remember in chapter 3, Krishna already spoke that kama or lust is there in all the 3 parts, the senses, mind and intelligence. So we can control lust in these 3 levels. So actually controlling the mind is most difficult among these 3. Engaging the senses is difficult. Someone says you do this service for Krishna, you did that using your like physical strength, that is engaging the senses. You can even use your intelligence, like managing events and all, that is using the intelligence. But controlling the mind is most difficult among these 3. So if one can do that, that is the highest form of devotional service. If one cannot do that, at least use the intelligence in Krishna's service. Now Krishna says, if you cannot engage your mind and intelligence in Krishna's service, then what you should do? Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tata mami chaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without devotion, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So Krishna is telling that if you cannot do that, what you should do? You should develop a desire to reach that stage. If you are able to engage your mind and intelligence completely in Krishna service, then actually you are a pure devotee. But if you cannot do that, at least you should aspire that someday I should be able to engage my mind and intelligence in Krishna service. Until that time, you should follow this Vaidhi Bhakti or following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. What are the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga? Rupa Goswami mentions 64 regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Out of them, 5 are most important. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Shravan, Mathura Vasha, Srimurtira, Shraddhaya Sevan. So Sadhu Sangha means association of devotees. Nama Kirtan means chanting the holy names. Bhagavata Shravan means reading the scriptures, Gita, Bhagavatam, and hearing them. Mathura Vash, whenever we get some opportunity, we should visit the dham, different dham of the Supreme Lord. And Srimurtira, Shraddhaya Sevan, worshipping the deity form of the Lord. We should have some deity form of the Lord in our home. And we should offer bhoga and we should offer arati and all to that deity form. So that is the regulatory principles of Bhakti Yoga. So these are do's, 5 kinds of do's. And we also have to follow the don'ts, like no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. So these are the regulatory principles of Bhakti Yoga. If someone is able to engage mind and intelligence continuously in Krishna, that means he is a pure devotee and spontaneously attracted to Krishna. He is beyond the anartha nivritti level. There are different levels in bhakti, right? Ado shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, ashakti, bhava, prem. So if someone is always able to engage their mind and intelligence in Krishna service, that means they are already pure and their anartha nivritti has been done. And if someone cannot do that, that means anarthas are still there inside heart. And therefore, they have to practice this regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Srila Prabhupada says in these verse, 2 different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For the second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. So attachment to Krishna means Raganuga Bhakti. Spontaneously, they are attracted to Krishna. And if you are not spontaneously attracted to Krishna, you should follow these rules and regulations. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment in this material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified. And in that purified stage, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money. And the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love in materialistic situation between a servant and master. But in the spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. There is a loving relation between the servant or the devotee and master or Krishna. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service performed with the present senses. So Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti is being discussed here. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this is more elaborately explained. So Vaidhi Bhakti means I do not have any taste and attachment for Krishna Bhakti. I do not like chanting. I do not like reading Bhagavad Gita. I feel inertia. I am ready to do all the different activities, but um, my mind is not attached to Krishna. Therefore, doing these things are kind of austerity for me. Okay. So in initial stage, we will not experience any taste because of our impurities. But we have to keep on practicing. We have to understand theoretically that this is important. Human life has been given to me for practicing Krishna Bhakti. Therefore, I need to do. And if we keep on doing this, gradually we will develop some taste. Someday, all these activities, chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, reading Srila Prabhupada books, doing Dhama Yatra with devotees, I will get taste in all these activities. So that means I'm transitioning from this Vaidhi to Raganuga Bhakti gradually. I'm going to the upper level in Bhakti. This love of God is now in dormant state in everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now the heart has to be purified of material association, and that dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. So we already possess love for Krishna, but due to material contamination, we do not experience that. And we are attracted to different materialistic pleasures. So that's the problem. But when we keep on chanting the holy names, Cheto Darpana Marjanam happens. The heart becomes clear of all these contaminations. And then gradually we will experience pure love for Krishna. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise. So these are the different regulative principles one should follow, even if the person has not developed attachment to Krishna. He should follow the instructions of the spiritual master. First, he has to understand the philosophy by questioning the spiritual master. If there is any doubt inside the heart, the doubt should be clarified. Krishna says that tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. One should go to self-realized souls or Vaishnavas and ask spiritual question if there is any doubt. If there is any doubt which is blocking me to surrender unto Krishna, that should be clarified. Then with all clarification, by understanding the philosophy, then we should practice according to the instructions of the spiritual master. By doing this with conviction, when we practice with conviction, with all doubts cleared, then gradually by this practice of regulative principles in Bhakti Yoga, one day this pure love of Godhead will arise in our heart. So what are the regulative principles? One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple and offer prayers, chant Hare Krishna, collect flowers to offer the deity, cook foodstuffs and offer the deity, take prasadam and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone to rise to the level of love of God. From the mechanical practice of regulative principles, one can rise to the level of love of God. And then he is sure of his progress in the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. So in two verses, verse number 8 and 9, Krishna explained, verse number 8, Krishna explained that the highest form of devotional service is if you can engage your mind and intelligence continuously in thinking about me. That is the highest form of devotional service. If you cannot do that, at least try to aspire to come to that position. And till then, follow the regulative principles of Bhakti or Vaidhi Bhakti. In the 10th verse, Krishna says, Abhyasepi asamarthoshi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapshashi. Abhyasepi asamarthoshi. If you cannot even practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, then what you should do? Then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So engaging mind and intelligence is the highest stage. If you cannot do that, follow the regulative principles of Bhakti. If you cannot follow the regulative principles of Bhakti, then just try to work for me. That means engage your senses in Krishna's service. By your body, try to serve Krishna. Do Krishna's work. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So here, Krishna degrades from Bhakti Yoga to Karma Yoga. We have discussed this multiple times while going through the verses in Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna will never prescribe Jnana Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga is best, Karma Yoga is okay. Because Karma Yoga is precursor to Bhakti Yoga. So engaging the mind and intelligence continuously in thinking about Krishna, that is devotional service. Then gradually Krishna comes down to here, Karma Yoga. If you cannot follow the regulative principles of Bhakti, do Karma Yoga. Do any work and offer the fruits unto Krishna. That is called Karma Yoga. One who is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. So different people are in different levels, and in different levels there are different kinds of prescriptions. Everyone is not a pure devotee, so they cannot follow the highest standard of bhakti. If you can follow that, that is the best. But if you cannot follow, Krishna has different prescriptions for people in different levels. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of this 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. So suppose some devotee is engaged in preaching, and I am not able to follow the regulatory principles of bhakti, but I am helping the devotees in preaching. Suppose someone is not able to follow the four regulatory principles of meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. They are doing all this nonsense. Still, suppose there is some preacher, he wants to organize a program. So someone can help organizing program by arranging for mic, stages, pandal, and all. So that will be counted as karma yoga. You are doing work for Krishna, and you will get some sukriti, and gradually by doing this, you will come to the stage of pure bhakti. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, labor. Giving donations is also one part of this. Like you can donate the land, you can give some capital, organization, labor. So these are the different ways in which you can do work for Krishna. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required for the service of Krishna. The only difference is uh, that in materialism one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is the spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or a temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with the publications of spiritual literatures. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the result of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. So, doing work for Krishna is also in different levels. Some people work for Krishna and give 100% to Krishna. Whatever they are earning, they are only earning for Krishna. If you cannot do that, at least give some percentage of your earning to Krishna. So Krishna is very understanding, and based on the levels of different jivas, Krishna is expecting differently from them. But everyone eventually will come to that perfectional stage, and we should not be reluctant that, oh, Krishna is also okay with giving only a small percentage. So I need not practice the highest form of devotional service. I will continue this lifetime after lifetime. No, that will not work. If we are stuck to this stage of karma yoga, giving only some percentage of the results to Krishna, then we will be taking birth again and again in this material world. And one day, what will happen? This golden age of Mahaprabhu will get exhausted. After 10,000 years, you will not get much facility for bhakti. Kali Yuga will be more dangerous. And at the end of Kali Yuga, this will be as good as the hell. So we should not wait for a long time. We should not think that, oh, Krishna is also okay with giving only a little percentage. So I will continue doing that lifetime after lifetime. No, we should always aim to come to the highest stage of perfection as soon as possible. Otherwise, we have to suffer. Yeah, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love of God, whereupon one becomes perfect. So Krishna is giving all these different opportunities, that if you cannot do that, at least do this, then quickly come to the next level, and then complete that level, quickly come to the high stage. So therefore Krishna is giving. Krishna is not giving a concession that if you like, you may not practice the highest form of devotion. You may continue with this lower form. No, that's not the case. Krishna, just like if we are too much fallen, Krishna is giving us a rope. If you are fallen into a dark well, Krishna is giving the rope to come out of that well. It's not that Krishna is okay, that okay, you stay there inside the well, no problem. No, then we will have to suffer. The Supreme Lord Krishna is Atmaram. He is always happy. We will have to suffer in this material world. Birth, old age, disease, death, Adi Atmic Klesh, Adi Bhautik Klesh, Adi Daivi Klesh. We have to suffer. But Maya is so strong that we think that we are doing good. Okay, we are happy in this world. That is Maya. So therefore, we should be very serious about Krishna consciousness, and we should try to come to this high stage of perfection as soon as possible. Athaitanapyasaktoshi kartum madyogamashrita sarvakarma phalatyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So the first level was engaging mind and intelligence in Krishna's service. That is the highest form of devotional service. The next form of devotional service is following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. If you cannot follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, then what you should do? You should try to work for Krishna. That is the third level. If you cannot even work for Krishna, then what you should do? Try to give up the results of your work and try to be self-situated. So doing work for Krishna means whatever I am doing work, I should offer the fruits to Krishna. If I cannot do that, if I cannot offer the fruits of my activities to Krishna, then what I should do? Then Krishna is telling, at least do not enjoy the fruits yourself. Okay, try to give up the results of your work. That is the worst thing you can do. If you start enjoying the fruits of your action, then you are finished. Then karma bandhan will tie you up and it will give you endless suffering. Yagyarthat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhane tadartham karma kvanteya mukta sanga samachara. So one should do everything for Krishna. That is the key for success in this material world. If you can work for Krishna, then no karma can touch you. And whatever sufferings we are getting, that is coming from karma. So karma is the crucial thing. And if you are working for Krishna, then karma cannot touch you. But if you are enjoying the fruits of your own action, if you are earning and you are trying to enjoy yourself with that earning, then that is allowed. It's not that Krishna is not allowing you to enjoy. Krishna will allow you to enjoy. But then you have to like also suffer the reactions for that. Because in this material world, sukha and dukha comes in pair. Just like a coin, head and tail comes together. You cannot only have a coin with only one side, head. Tail is also there. So if you are enjoying the fruits of your activities, you will also have to suffer the reactions. So therefore, Krishna says that, and in this material world, because this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, sufferings are more than enjoyment. So if you want to enjoy, 100 times sufferings will come. So therefore, Krishna says that at least do not try to enjoy in this world. The best thing will be, if you want to enjoy with Krishna. Take Krishna with you. You want to enjoy delicious foodstuffs, no problem. Offer that to Krishna first. You should have a deity form in your home. Proper deity with Guru Parampara and all. You should worship the deity form, offer the bhoga to the deities, and then you should accept the prasadam. Then it is allowed, then it is purified. Otherwise, whatever we enjoy, we will have to suffer the reactions for those karma. That is very, very dangerous. So Krishna is giving, if you cannot offer the fruits to me, at least do not enjoy the fruits yourself. Give up the results of your work and try to be self-situated. It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from the family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. So suppose the family members are not very much conducive to Krishna consciousness. Someone wants to donate some money to temple, okay, doing Krishna's work, and the family members are not agreeing. The family members are creating problem. So then what the person should do? At least give that money to some good cause, some punya karma, some school, college, hospitals and all, giving it to some needy person like that, charity. If you cannot give it to Krishna, then you at least do some charity. You should not enjoy the fruits of your own actions. That is the most dangerous thing. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifices and special functions for the full moon day. And there is special work in which the result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the stage of knowledge. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital or some social institution, he gives up hard-earned results of his activities. So sacrificing some amount of money, or so money is earned by hard work. So I have worked hard, I'm earning money. So at least start giving away that. Try learn to sacrifice. Sacrificing for Krishna is the highest topmost thing. If you cannot sacrifice for Krishna for some reason, then you should at least sacrifice for some good cause. Yeah. He gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. That is also recommended here, because by practicing of giving up the fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify the mind gradually. So by giving charity, at least I will develop this habit of giving away. Some people are so kripana, so miser, that they do not want to give in charity even a single penny. They are very much attached to the wealth. So by giving charity, we become detached to our wealth. And gradually, one day, I will be able to donate for Krishna also. So therefore, this habit of donation must be there regularly. And in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. So as a devotee, is what we should do. We should at least give away some percentage of our monthly salary for the cause of Krishna. For book distribution, maybe I sponsored some Bhagavad Gitas, so that those Bhagavad Gitas can be distributed free from any cost. That is one kind of donation. In book distribution, I can help in preaching. Okay. I can help some preacher who is trying to preach Krishna consciousness, helping them. I can donate in the yatras. I can donate in the temples. Okay. So in many ways, I can donate to expand this mission of Krishna consciousness. So for Krishna's cause, we should give donation. By giving donation, dhan shuddhi happens. We are interacting with this material world as and earning money. So we are engaged in too many materialistic activities for earning that money. Sometimes we say in the classes that whatever activities we are doing, if we are doing that for Krishna, then it is also Krishna consciousness. Somebody is studying as a student, someone is doing job. If they are doing it for Krishna, then it is purified. Otherwise, they will have to suffer for it, because it will generate karma. So what is the meaning of studying or doing job for the sake of Krishna? The first symptom is at least we should give some of the fruits of this action to Krishna. Some percentage we should donate regularly. Then it becomes purified. Yeah. So that is also recommended, that giving up the fruits of one activities will gradually purify the mind. And in that purified stage, the mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. So Prabhupada is making another point, that it is not necessary that you have to first practice charity for 2 years. Then you are qualified for Krishna consciousness. Then you should start chanting Hare Krishna. No. If you are able to follow Krishna consciousness directly, then that is the best. If you cannot follow, then you have to go through all these different activities of, if you cannot like engage your mind and intelligence, follow the regulative principles. If you cannot follow the regulative principles, try to work for Krishna. If you cannot even work for Krishna, work for some good cause. Do not enjoy the fruits yourself. So these are different levels, but these are not the prerequisites for bhakti. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted, so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, we find it is stated, Jatha Prabrittir Bhutanam, if one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by sacrificial method. So here we saw that how even doing sacrifice for some good cause is considered to be, that is the last level. You should never enjoy the fruits of your own action. So there is a topic called Manav Seva versus Madhav Seva in our initial seminars. So in the first seminar is Science of Self-Realization. Then there is another seminar called Bhakti Yoga seminar. In that Bhakti Yoga seminar, we discussed this Manav Seva versus Madhav Seva. Some people think Manav Seva is higher than Madhav Seva. What is the use of giving charity in temples? So as per Bhagavad Gita, giving charity to the temple is considered to be higher than giving charity to some people. Why? So the point is, if you give some charity to some beggar, okay, with that charity, suppose that the beggar is hungry and the beggar, you are feeding the beggar just for one day, but that's not a very like high kinds of contribution. The beggar will live for many years and you are only feeding one day. And even if you feed one day, what will happen? Nothing will change. The beggar will keep on suffering. So charity of food or money is a very lower level of charity. The higher level of charity is if you can give charity of knowledge. By giving knowledge to that person, if you can connect that person to Krishna, then that is a very high achievement. If you connect that person to Krishna, and if that person becomes a devotee, then the person will go back to the abode of the Supreme Lord in the next life. And you are saving that person from billions of lifetimes of suffering. So charity of knowledge is considered to be higher than the charity of foodstuffs or charity of money. So therefore, in the spiritual organizations like proper temples, ISKCON temples, what happens? In ISKCON temples, we also give charity. We also give charity of food. There is different programs called Food for Life, Annamrita and all. But we are not distributing only food. We are distributing prasad. By eating that prasadam, the person will be spiritually elevated. We are also spreading the holy names. We are connecting people to Krishna. So that is the highest kind of charity. So if you give charity to temple, this is a better form of charity, because the temple will not only give normal charity to people, but it will distribute prasadam, knowledge, and the Mahamantra to people. So therefore, this is considered to be higher. Connecting one to Krishna is the highest form of philanthropic activity one can do. Giving some clothes or foodstuffs for one day, that is also considered to be like better than nothing. Therefore, that is in the fourth level. But the highest form is give charity to temple and Vaishnavas, because always they are doing the highest form of philanthropic activity of connecting someone to Krishna. Okay, that is the best thing. So we completed this section of 8 to 12, where different gradations of bhakti are explained. And in the next section, we will discuss the different qualities of devotees. So that is the last section. And we will take that section in the next class. Thank you very much for attending this session. Any questions? Okay, so we'll continue this section, the last section, in the next class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.